Good morning, guys. It's Miss Bland, and we're going to go over Wednesday's lesson. I hope you're doing well. Let's get started. It is Wednesday. I hope this lesson finds you good to go and ready to work. It's Elena's birthday, so we were happy to say happy birthday to Elena this morning. So if you happen to jump on Zoom tomorrow, you can say happy belated birthday. I hope all of you are doing well. Remember to follow the rules of sending me either your reading page completed or math page completed so that I know you were here. Remember, our goals for First World Learning have not changed. Review them here. Remember that we're talking about social and emotional this week, about being in a group. Yesterday, we talked about sportsmanship, and we met Howard B. Wigglebottom, and we learned that winning wasn't everything. Today, we're going to talk about role models. A role model is a person that you can look up to. There's something about that person that you think is awesome. It might be the way they live, or what they do for a job, how they carry themselves, the way they talk to people, or how other people look up to them. So we'd like for it to be somebody you know. Superheroes like Spider-Man and Iron Man, they're heroes, but they're not role models. So we'd like for it to be someone you know. In Seesaw, you have an activity that says a role model is someone you look up to and I want to be like. If I had to choose one person to be my role model, I would choose, and tell me the person that you're choosing. Be sure to complete it in Seesaw and hit that green check mark to submit. Your words of affirmation for the week. Today I am a leader. I believe in myself. I am perfect just the way I am. Ms. Bland, sorry she forgot these on Monday and Tuesday. In your orange packet, remember that you have 12 spelling words, and 8 vocabulary words for this week. Today we will focus on the story of Lola and Tiva and review the story of Taking Care of Pepper. Remember that if you read an epic book, you do color it in on your gumball machine. Today is Wednesday. You are to read your Kate's Pet Snake and color in the smiley face for reading. It says, what are some things Kate did to prepare for the snake? You may pause here to complete this, or you may complete this on the end. Letterland. Remember, we use our Letterland sounds to be better readers, writers, and spellers. Letterland helps us remember all those things as we read and write. We have 12 words for this week that we are reviewing. Please say them after me. Smile, shape, right. Repeat the next ones after me. Drag, trade, inside. Again, grade, slide. Snake, hike, white. And our last word, mistake. Make sure you're studying those, that long A and long I sound, and preparing yourself for our test on Friday. You have 2 options this week today. Today you can either put your spelling sentences in your notebook on a clean page. Make sure you label that they are spelling sentences and underline the word. Or you have a new option this week of putting your spelling sentences in Seesaw. I thought it'd be a cool change. You can use the text button to type your sentence out, or you can use a pencil or the pen if you're using an iPad or a tablet and write your sentence out. Your choice, but I thought it'd be a nice difference. It's reading time. Today for reading, you have a story, and the story is called Lola and Tiva, An Unlikely Friendship. Before we get to our story, we're going to review our subject and predicate. Remember that predicates, every sentence has a predicate. The predicate is what the subject is doing. It's the do in my sentence. There's a who and there's a do. Ms. Palacios is my who. The do is painting a picture. Turn to your packet to the page that looks like mine. Miss Land, the boys and girls this morning, we did the first 4 together. The who of my sentence is who the sentence is about. That is my subject. And the directions call for you to circle the subject. The do in my sentence is what they do. It's the predicate. That part of our directions say we're going to underline. Please look over number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ms. Blaine and the boys and girls this morning have done them for you. Who? Sarah. What does she do? She goes to a basketball practice after school. Number 2. Who? Myra and Robert. What do? They bake cookies together. Number 3. Who? The family. What do? They drove to the ice cream store after dinner. Number 4. Who? I. What did I do? I studied for my math test. Pause here to get these down on your paper. Numbers 6 through 10 will be part of your personal independent responsibility. You may pause here to complete them, or you may complete them on the end. Our new story for this week is called Lola and Tiva. And Lola and Tiva are very unlikely friends. Unlikely means they're not the friends you would normally think to be friends. And we're going to meet them and we're going to talk about what kind of friends they were. Today's skill focus is to focus on key details. So pay very close attention to the story so that you'll be able to do some key details of our story.
Lola and Tiva, an unlikely friendship. There is a very special place in Kenya, Africa, called the Lua Wildlife Conservancy. Lua is a large place where animals roam free and people, called rangers, watch over them. A young girl named Tiva lived there with her family. Her father worked for Lua. Everyone at Lua knew that Tiva had always wanted a puppy, but puppies were not allowed. Instead, the people at Lua found Tiva a different kind of friend, a young black rhino named Lola. Lola seemed to work just as well as a puppy for Tiva. Lola and Tiva became the best of friends. This is their true story. Lola was born at Lua to a mother that was blind. For a couple of days, Lola drank her mother's milk for food and stayed close by. But when she was strong enough to walk, Lola wandered off to another area of Lua. Her mother could not see Lola walking away. Without her mother to feed and protect her, Lola was in danger. Lola needed food and could become a meal for a lion or another hungry animal. She could not find her mother, and her blind mother could not find her. The rangers who worked at Lua searched for Lola. When they found her, they brought her to a safe place in Lua that was near Tiva's house. There, Lola would be out of danger. Tiva was excited when Lola arrived. She wanted to take care of Lola. Like any baby, Lola needed many things. Most of all, Lola was hungry and needed milk. Tiva learned to feed Lola. Lola drank a bottle 5 times a day. Each time she drank over a gallon. Tiva loved Lola. Lola was a lot like a big puppy. She tried to climb things, she licked things, she smelled things, she begged at the dinner table. Like most pets, Lola never posed when Tiva tried to take pictures. She wanted to take a nap. But Lola did like for Tiva to pet her between the ears. Of course, rhinos are not really like dogs. They don't eat dog food. When Lola was about 5 months old, she started to eat like a real rhino. She ate shrubs, twigs, and leaves. Her upper lip is shaped like a hook and can grab onto food. Lola could wrap her hook around sticks and leaves, but she still loved to drink milk too. Rhinos in the wild are usually shy. They often run away if they see or smell people. Lola was too young to be afraid of people. Tiva and the rangers became her family. A baby rhino is called a calf. A calf usually stays with its mother for 2 years. The mother watches over her calf. Lola needed someone to look after her. Tiva became Lola's special friend. Like a pet, Lola needed special care. Tiva helped pick bugs off Lola's body. The bugs could make Lola sick. In the wild, birds eat the bugs off of a rhino's skin. But birds would not do that for Lola. There were too many people around. Lola also needed to take baths, mud baths. When a rhino rolls in the mud, it is called wallowing. It is an important part of being a rhino. The mud protects a rhino's skin from sun, like sunscreen. Once the mud dries, it also keeps bugs from biting. Tiva made sure Lola knew how to wallow. It isn't as easy as it looks. It takes a lot of practice. A rhino does not have to wash the mud off. A little girl does. Lola and Tiva shared their days together. Lola learned about being a rhinoceros. Tiva learned about being a friend. It was a lot of fun, and it wore them out. Now Lola is almost full grown. She is too big to play with Tiva like she used to, but the time they spent together will always be special. After all, a little girl never forgets her first best friend. The end.
Very good. That's an awesome story, guys. So then this morning, the boys and girls and I went through our story and we just talked about some of the things that we thought were key details. You and your family can look over the list of things we chose and you can write the ones that we have down, or you can choose the ones that you think are better. We said the setting of our story was in Africa, that the main characters were Lola and Tiva, that Lola was a rhino and Tiva was a girl. We went on to talk about that the mud keeps the bugs off. And I think Mariella shared with us that she drank milk 5 times a day. The Tiva really wanted a puppy, not a Lola, which was a rhino. The rhinos eat twigs and leaves, and that their friendship was very unlikely. If there's a different one that you'd like to add, you're welcome to switch it out and choose one that we didn't choose. Use your story to help you. Pause here to complete, or complete on the end. If you need to stretch, get some water, or change anything around you, you may go ahead and do that now, but do it quickly because Ms. Bland will continue. It's math time. We're going to talk today about math just a little bit, kind of an extension of what we did yesterday. We are in grade 2, module 1. This is lesson 8.
Here. So our learning goal for today says I can use the take from 10 strategy to subtract from numbers within 100. So that just means our numbers are going to be a little larger that we're subtracting from, but we're still going to use that strategy where we're taking that 10 to be able to help us to subtract easier. So our first problem I want us to look at, it says Jacob has 13 bouncy balls. He gives 8 of them to his friend Pete. How many bouncy balls does Jacob have left?
In a clean page in your notebook, please write down 13 minus 8 and complete it using the same method that we used yesterday. Pause here to do so. Great. Your equation in your notebook should have looked like mine. You wrote 13 minus 8. You broke your 10. You took out your 10 and left you with 3 to make this bond correct. You then subtracted. 10 minus 8 was 2, and then you added. 3 plus 2 was 5. So 13 minus 8 gave you 5. I hope that's the answer you got.
I can visualize, and then my mind is cut. These 13 bouncy balls in his hands, 12, and then one is 8. Because remember, he had 13, he gave away 8. So the way that I would solve this problem is I want to break apart this 13 and I want to take out a 10. So I would break it into 3 and 10. I'm going to take that 10 and subtract 8. 10 minus 8 equals 2. Now I need this 3 and 2. I have to put that back together, and I know that 3 plus 2 equals 5. So 13 minus 8 equals 5. Okay, so that's how you could subtract 23 minus 8 equals blank. I'm going to do this one together, and then you guys are going to jump in on your own. So 23 minus 8. I want to break apart this 23.
And that's where we're starting today. We're going to talk about breaking apart those bigger numbers, taking out that 10, but remembering that this number on the other side is going to look a little different. So we practiced a couple in our notebook. We're always going to take out our 10 and put it on the right-hand side. But then we talked about how this other number changes. So if I had 27 and I took away a 10, that 2 became a 1, the 5 became a 4, the 6 became a 2, the 3 became a 2. We gave ourselves chances to practice those. So what I'd like for you to do is 2 things. I'd like for you to copy these in your notebook, and then I would like for you to try these at the bottom by yourself. Pause here to do that. Great. If you're back, that means you tried the ones at the bottom, and your answer should have looked like mine. Check your answers to make sure. Pause here to complete your notebook. So our process for today will not change. We will still take 10, we will subtract from 10, and then we will add. So my number was 27, my equation, was 27 minus 8 equals 19. I popped out my 10, that left me with 17. I subtracted 10 minus 8, which gave me 2, and 2 plus 17 was 19. 19 was my answer. I followed the same process for this one. Talk this one out by following the steps aloud with your family. Pause here to do so. Please copy these 2 examples down inside of your notebook for reference later on in case you get stuck. Pause here to do so. Inside your packet, you should see a page that looks like mine. It is your application problem of the day. You're going to read the problem carefully. Emma had 45 pencils. 8 pencils were sharpened. How many pencils are not sharpened? We drew our picture. We took away our 8 pencils that were sharpened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we used our math strategy to find an answer of 37. And we flipped over to the back and wrote that equation. We also did one more problem just for practice with 63 minus 7. Pause here to get that down. You are responsible for doing number E, F, G, H, and 4 alone. At the bottom of that page, you are going to go back to our story of taking care of Pepper and give me 4 sentences about taking care of Pepper. You can tell me what happened first, next, then, and last. You can tell me about their day. You can tell me about grooming Pepper, whatever you'd like, because then you are going to use that information to do Pepper. So there's Pepper, and Pepper needs to be colored and then glued together to look like Pepper. Once you've done that, you can attach them or keep them together and send Miss Bland a picture. She'd love to see them. So there's assignments for today in Seesaw. There's assignments for your notebook. All that's been sent to Mom and Dad in Dojo. You have been amazingly awesome. Remember, in Seesaw, you have your role models, your spelling, and your math. I thank you for being great today as always. Remember to stop by and check out your specials with Mr. D, Ms. Reason, and Ms. Ellington. And if you have any questions whatsoever, that you will let me know. There was no afternoon Zoom, so there's nothing there that I need to remind you of. I do want to remind you of iStation. You have not completed your iStation and you plan to do it at home, that you will do it soon, just in case we run into any issues, we can get them fixed. And if you would like to schedule a time to come and do them at school, that you will get with me so I can get you an assigned time. Thank you so much for being amazing. I hope you have a great afternoon and a great night. And if you need something, please let Ms. Bland know. All my love and all my kisses, all my love and air wishes. I hope you have a great afternoon.